Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani continues to embarrass himself in very strange yet hilarious ways. So, look, during a video call scheduled for his bar disciplinary hearing, so that's a very serious issue. The DC Bar Association is going to determine if Giuliani helping Donald Trump try to overthrow democracy in this country, to end democracy in this country, is actually worthy of him losing his license to practice law. Now, during this meeting, however, it got derailed when Giuliani accidentally admitted to a wardrobe malfunction.
Okay.
You know I have two watches on.
Mr. Leventhal, you have something to say.
I said we'll try to work on the microphone during the lunch.
Thank you.
You may also want to work on the camera. What is that? It looks terrible. Now, look, seated next to him, Giuliani, was his lawyer, John Leventhal. He was like, dude, what are you talking about? The hot mic? Hot mic! You got a hot mic? Oh, shoot. Oh, it turns out I actually have two watches on at the same time. Okay, weird. Why does he have two watches on? I don't know. Why am I wearing two watches? How did this happen? Who am I? What am I doing here? I don't understand. Please tell me. I mean, this guy's losing his brain. His mind is melting. It probably rolled out his ears. Like what we thought was probably hair dye. It's actually just his brain. And he doesn't have a lot of explaining to do as to why it's black. But anyway, okay. No, honestly though, when I first heard wardrobe malfunction related to Rudy Giuliani, I got a little concerned. I was like, oh no. What do you mean? What do you mean wardrobe malfunction? But thankfully, he just put on two watches for some reason, and I'm just happy he remembered to wear pants. Because, look, you never know, okay? You never know. The guy's like plastered 24/7. I guess if you're Rudy Giuliani, you would need to be plastered to forget the fact that you were Rudy Giuliani. But look, that aside, the guy is a gift that keeps on giving, man. From the Four Seasons to the hair dye to the butt dialing of reporters, and the farting on during a court case, very, very audibly, by the way, in Jenna Ellis's face. We shall never forget that. Gas word heard around the world. His brain is melting. I mean, again, who puts on two watches on the same wrist? I'm sure some people do it. Maybe there's like a fashion statement or something on that. But not for Rudy Giuliani. No. And again, can the guy not afford, like he can afford two watches at the same time, but apparently not a decent video camera? He's not winning with that webcam. But anyway, fun aside, let's get to some substance here. So it turns out it is actually pretty important, the reason that he was on the Zoom call in the first place. And look, he pushed the nonsense voter fraud cases all over the country. I remember, we all remember the different court cases that he had lost, that the Trump campaign had lost as a result of Trump's lawyers of them not having any evidence. It turns out now he's in trouble for doing that because he didn't bring any evidence. Now, the Washington Post notes that during his testimony, Giuliani minimized his role in a lawsuit that falsely alleged the 2020 presidential election was filled with fraud in Pennsylvania. So this is dealing with the Pennsylvania case. Now, Hamilton Phil Fox III, the lead prosecuting attorney for D.C. Bar's Office of Disciplinary Counsel, called Giuliani's fraud allegations in Pennsylvania, quote unquote, unfounded. Well, that's because he didn't have any evidence. So now Pennsylvania had changed their elections, their voting system specifically. They updated it, as most of our election voting systems, I should say, in this country. Update, there's outdated infrastructure. There's some real problems. We're not winning with it, okay? Now, Fox argued that although several courts did find some kinks in the voting system in Pennsylvania, that doesn't mean fraud. There's no evidence of fraud, and is alleging that Giuliani had weaponized his law license by filing a frivolous lawsuit, and as a result should have his license suspended or revoked. Now, Giuliani has already had his law license in New York suspended for doing the same thing, for fueling what happened on January 6th. Now, Fox said this: there was no case in law nor fact for which Mr. Giuliani set forth on grounds of fraud. And again, it's because he didn't allege fraud, because he didn't have the evidence, and you actually have to prove that in court. And if you lie about it, well, then you're basically committing perjury. And that'll get you in trouble. So now, in response, Giuliani claimed, no, it wasn't me. It was another attorney. Ah, yes, another attorney had actually been the one to draft the initial complaints, and that he only added a few paragraphs. Oh, see, I barely added anything. Fox then introduced a second complaint that was filed, in which Giuliani said the fraud allegations were removed, but then Giuliani admitted that he instructed to have the fraud allegations added back in to the complaint, even knowing that he didn't have any of the evidence to back it up. Kind of a problem. But get a load of his excuse. Now, Giuliani says, what? Look, we didn't have the evidence because everything was moving so fast. I mean, all these lawsuits were filed so quickly after the election, there just wasn't time to get the evidence. Then you don't file the lawsuit. Again, if you don't have the evidence, why are you filing the lawsuit? If you don't have the claim of fraud, then why are you filing the lawsuit in order to stop the election based on fraud? But he said the team put the information in the complaint that they believe was accurate at the time, but they had expected to obtain the facts later. Oh, later. Of course. Well, that's how it works. Yeah. We'll just file the lawsuit now, alleging this systematic election and voter fraud without any evidence. But don't worry, we'll have that evidence later. Yeah, we'll get it later. Come on, at some point, we'll bring it forward. Maybe after Donald Trump takes over. Yeah. Look, here's the thing, though, about that. They've had all the time in the world to bring up evidence now, and it still never materialized. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, right, it's because it doesn't exist. There wasn't widespread voter fraud. There wasn't election fraud. Look, you need evidence if you're going to ask the state to throw out tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of ballots, and in so doing, handing the presidency over to somebody who didn't win, or just stopping the peaceful transfer of power outright. And that's what they were trying to do, by the way. But see, understand that Giuliani knew that Trump didn't actually win. Donald Trump knew that he didn't actually win, and has admitted so. In between his rants, he would accidentally slip, oh yeah, I actually didn't. And then all of his sycophants, same thing, admitting we don't actually have evidence. Mike Bill, or maybe they say, I do have the evidence, I just don't want to show anybody. Oh, okay, well, so you've got it, but you're not going to show us the evidence. But you want us to say, to trust you anyway. Trust me, bro, I've got it. It's right here. It's in the van. Okay, it's sitting in the back seat right now. I can't show you. That's what they're doing. But the fact, again, that they went along with all these lawsuits, 60 of them, and they lost all of them. The fact that they went ahead with that Giuliani was there, is exactly why he shouldn't be allowed to practice law anymore, because obviously he doesn't seem to understand it.